We're going to talk about this one mistake you don't want to make with your dating. I see tons of people making this mistake. Just don't do it. Don't do it. For the love of God, don't do it. Hi, my name is Arica Angelo, dating and relationship expert for 14 years now. Long time. But I'm here to support you in your journey of finding love, developing connections, and, navigating this crazy ass dating scene that we've created. I mean, back in the old days, I'm sure they would have loved all the choices, but they're like, y'all need to make up your damn mind. Y'all too busy running around like chickens with your head cut off, and you need to make a decision. That's not the biggest mistake that people make. Listen, if you're new to my work, make sure that you get my free connection meditation. Most of the time, when we are having problems with dating, we're having problems with connecting with people, it's because somewhere inside, we're out of an alignment with ourselves. We're not in alignment with ourselves. And it happens to the majority of us. Staying in alignment is tricky business, and it's something that we have to be intentional about every day. And that's why I've created this connection meditation, so that you get to come back to you. You get to be in alignment with you. And then as you are in alignment with you, you can go out into the world and choose who you need to be with and who you want to be with. So I'm curious what kind of dating experiences you've been having. Listen, there are lots of dating mistakes that people make, but I want to share with you the biggest mistake that people make, and I want to set it up and tell you why people make this mistake before I tell you what that mistake is. I think when you're single and you want love, there is a sense of scarcity going on in our mind. Despite the fact that our parents have told us there are plenty of fish in the sea, at the end of the day, we really don't believe our parents. We're like, yeah. Okay. But most of the time, there's a sense of scarcity. Like when you come out of a breakup and you think, I'm never going to find someone who knows me as well as that person. No one's going to know me like that person. Well, you're wrong. You absolutely will. Just like you found that person, you will find someone who knows you that way. But that scarcity gets us believing. We feel it in our bodies when we've had such intimacy with someone. We think, I'll never find that with anyone. So it starts creating this scarcity. Or when you meet someone who checks all the boxes for you, but it's that huge thing that you just can't walk away from. Let's say they are wonderful, they treat you well, but then all of a sudden you realize they are a liar. And you're like, I can't stand for that. Or for those of you who've been cheated on, you're like, that's a hard one, right? It's like, if I've been cheated on, chances are everybody else is going to cheat on me. So, that really narrows the pool down of finding the right person, because all people are cheaters, all people are liars. So that pool of people just becomes very, very, very small. So a lot of times in dating, we already start off with the wrong mentality that leads us to the mistake I'm going to share with you, which is it's super scarce out there. It's super scarce. And then with that, we end up dating a bunch of people that we should never be spending time with, because we just think, well, F it. You know what? If I'm never going to find the person that I want to do life with, I might as well have fun. And so then that's another mistake that we start creating, because we believe that we're not going to find our person that makes us feel alive, that makes us feel loved, that truly understands, sees, appreciates, and accepts us. Because we feel like we're never going to find that, then we start playing into that world of, I'm just going to have fun. And what happens is, I'm just having fun. At some point, there's an element of connection and seriousness that gets involved. And because you're not being intentional about it, because you already have guards up, because you feel like you're never going to find anyone, most of the time, those situations end up turning out pretty badly. Someone gets hurt. Someone always gets hurt. And that we're just having fun. Very rarely do I hear of someone who is just having fun. It's like, we were just having fun and we went our separate ways. No. Get the other side of the story. Someone started getting attached to the person, and when you pull two people apart and the attachment breaks, it hurts. And so that's the other mistake. It's like, well, I'm just going to have fun in the meantime because, I don't think I'm ever going to find anyone. And so I would say that the biggest mistake, this is where, one, it's scarcity, and two, it's just being very open to anyone and everyone. But at the end of the day, we all know we're not dumb. We know inside when someone resonates with us. And we also know inside when someone triggers us, when they scare us, when they raise red flags, and they're valid red flags, and we don't pay attention to them. The biggest mistake is we stop trusting ourselves. And so we start inviting and accepting people that our body is telling us, like when you start getting anxious, when you start going, there's just something not right, pay attention to that. It's your body speaking. Now, I do want to set background, like, you know, if you've had some trauma, if you've had pain and bad experiences, and you're just everything they do, you're like, that's a problem, then you might need to get some coaching with that, see a therapist, get some healing, see a somatic therapist, do some healing on that. But most of the time, if we haven't had tons of trauma and we're just constantly pushing people away, it's at the end of the day, we don't trust ourselves. And I think that's one of the hardest things as a human being to do, is to really trust ourselves, because everything since we were a child, we were taught in school to be dependent upon a teacher, to be dependent on a school system, and we were just at their mercy. And that's what we got inundated with. And then we go to a job and we have to trust the boss more. And there are all these systems in place that constantly put people over you. And very rarely do people get placed in a position where they're actually empowered to trust themselves. Then you give these people a loaded weapon, like going out and finding the love of their life. And they're like, I don't know what to do because no one taught me how to trust myself. And so my advice to you is, you know, if you're having trouble in dating, chances are you are, that's why you're watching this video, right? If you're having problems with dating and you think it's everyone else, I want you to sit with that question. Am I trusting myself? And sometimes this is a hard process, because this is how it plays out. When we start trusting ourselves, it's like the universe will kind of like, we'll have different people that were still part of that old frequency, that old vibe that we're used to, that starts showing up. And when you trust yourself, you trust that you can say no to those old experiences, and they'll keep showing up. And they'll keep showing up until you say no. And all that is just old energy that's used to coming your way. But the more that you say no, you start creating this resistance that starts pushing that away and going, that's not what I want, that's not what I want. And then all of a sudden the energy goes, whoa, she needs a different experience. He needs a different experience. Someone new comes in. And so the more that you trust yourself and say no to the wrong experiences, you create room for the right experience, for the right person that makes you feel safe, that doesn't play games with you, doesn't play mind games with you, that when you're with them, you enjoy it. You don't have to control anything. You don't have to run. You don't have to second guess everything. They're just straight up with you. They want to be with you. They make time to see you. They return your calls. There's none of these like crazy games that are going on, because frankly, those are just weak people. And it's an abnormal dating scenario that people have created, which is why dating coaches like myself and relationship experts like myself I've had to create all these crazy videos about friend zones and this and that, when really it's all just a bunch of weak people who are scared, who are full of fear, is what it boils down to. You can stop that cycle. You can stop being a victim to that cycle by trusting yourself. And you trust yourself by starting to say no to the wrong people, sticking to your no's, and saying yes to the people who don't play games, who are very straightforward with you, and people that you just wholeheartedly enjoy being around, because that's who you want to spend the rest of your life with. Someone that you enjoy, and someone who doesn't inflict a lot of pain, because guess what? Life in itself can be a challenge at times. The last thing you want is a partner who's adding to that challenge constantly. Ain't nobody got time for that, babe. make sure that you like this video, and in the comment section, tell me where you've been weak in your nose. You're like, Arica, you're right. I keep letting this type of person come in. I'm scared to say no to these type of people because it's all I know, but I'm gonna take your advice and I'm going to start saying no so that I can get to the right yes. I love you, baby doll. You've got this. You have what it takes. Make sure you check out one of these videos. At the end of the video, you'll see recommended playlists or videos. Watch those. There's so much good information there that will really transform your life and your experience with connecting with people. I love you so much. I'll see you soon, darling. Bye.